Everybody, welcome to Dandelion Cottage. And even though today is Thursday, it's still Watercolor Wednesday here. And today I'm going to show you how to paint some autumn leaves. So hi, I hope you're well. I hope you're having a great fall season so far. It's been really pretty here. I collected a whole bunch of leaves to show you today. So here they are. We're going to look at them together, and I'm going to show you how to paint a leaf with watercolor. And not only is this a really fun thing that you can do to pass the time and make a beautiful little watercolor painting and share it with a friend on a greeting card or a box or whatever, it's also a little preview as to what's coming up in November, because for Thanksgiving I'm going to be showing you how to make Thanksgiving place cards and treat boxes for your guests, and also cards to be able to send to all the folks that you may not be able to share Thanksgiving with this year. And so at the end of October, in another week or two, as well as all of November, there's going to be a lot of autumn leaf projects and exercises coming right up, so this will be important. I also want to tell you I have a new watercolor card of the month club starting in November, and for the first one there will be a autumn leaf note card, and in that class I will be going into detail as to the materials, the colors, how to get started, and step-by-step process of how to paint an autumn leaf. Today is just going to be a little quickie just to give you an idea of what it is that I'm talking about, and I think that's all I have to share with you right now. I'll keep chatting while I'm painting. So here is my assortment of leaves, and I just went out onto the lawn just a couple of minutes ago, and I collected these leaves to share with you. Aren't they pretty? Look at these Japanese maple leaves with these wonderful serrated, heavily lobed edges. And this is my favorite color. This is the Amelanchier, or the shad. And if I hold this up, you can see how the light passes through it. It's just amazing. So when you have an entire tree that's doing this with the light shining through and all of these beautiful little scarlet leaves falling down to the pathway below, it's an incredible sight. Okay, so let me just check my settings, make sure this is working. Okay, that looks good. All right. Okay. So I'm sorry I missed you yesterday. I had an opportunity to look at a vintage camping trailer, and time was of the essence. I had to get there fast to see if I was interested, to make sure that I would have the opportunity to buy it if I decided to get it. And guess what? I am the proud new owner of a vintage camping trailer. It's just a little one. The name of the make is Reddale, and we think that it's a late 50s, early 60s. We don't know exactly what the date of manufacture is, because these particular camping trailers were made by order to the customer, so each one is unique and different. And this one appears to be in really good condition, so this is going to be a big project that I have coming up over the winter and into the spring. And I will probably create a Facebook page or a group specifically just to share my progress with that. So stay tuned for that. I'm really, really excited about it. Okay, so here are our colors. So I've got the yellows, the kind of oranges and reds, and then the deep reds here. And I'll show you my paints. So here they are. So I've got yellow, red, and blue. I'm just going to use 3 colors. I'm going to put my palette right here. And I have a piece of watercolor paper. This particular piece of paper is called hot press watercolor paper, so it has a very smooth surface. And I don't need a piece this big, so I'm just going to tear this down. If you're thinking about getting ready for Christmas and making your own Christmas cards, gift boxes, and tags, I'm going to be making all sorts of videos and having classes on all of those things coming up in December, starting in November. And if you'd like to get on the newsletter list and subscribe to notes, I will keep you up to date on all of the holiday classes I have coming up. There's going to be a lot of them. And this is my email address. I'm sorry, it's my website address. Just go to dandelioncottagedesign.com and you will find a place to subscribe to notes. And if you do that, I will send you each month, at the beginning of the month, a listing of all the classes I have coming up and information on how you can register for them. And then the other thing I want to mention is that if you are not a paper crafter, if you've never done anything like this before, then go to my website, again, dandelioncottagedesign.com, and if you go to the page that says join, you'll scroll down and you'll find something called the starter kit. And this is a great place for you to get started because you can get all of the essential tools and supplies and materials that you need to follow along and get it at a tremendous savings. So you can buy $125 worth of tools, papers, envelopes, adhesives, ribbons, whatever it is that you like. I have a recommended list there. And you can get it for only $99 and free shipping. So that's a huge savings. And as a special deal for this month, if you use this host code to just get a couple of things, for each order over $50, I'm going to be sending you a special gift. But this is different from the starter kit. This is just a small order, so just keep that in mind. And I will post that below after I do the video as well. Okay, so here's my paper. And I think I should zoom you in a little bit so you can see better. There you go. I'm just going to take a number 2 pencil and select a leaf. I'm going to use a maple leaf, and I want one with a little more color. Oh, that one's pretty nice. It's between these two. It's a tough choice. I'm going to go with this one because I think this color is really gorgeous. All right, and this is just going to be a quick demonstration. It's not going to be a very finished painting. It's just going to be a kind of an introduction of how to get started. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm just getting my center line and the stem, and then the maple leaf has 3 main lobes, and each of those has several little points attached to them. And I'm kind of squeezing it a little bit to fit on this page. So I'm redesigning the leaf. Actually, that's even a little bit too long. So I'm going to take my kneaded eraser, and this is a kneaded rubber eraser. If you order one of my beginning watercolor kits, you get one of these erasers in the kit. They're very handy because they don't abrade the paper, and you can just very lightly rub and remove any of the graphite. Okay, so let's shorten up this leaf a little bit. Got a little bit long on me. There we go. That's looking more like a maple leaf. And then I'm looking also for these veins. This needs to come up here a little bit. Remove this line over there. Okay, so each one of these three lobes has its own central vein. So I'm just going to locate that and get that on there. And then there are some other of these side veins that continue something like that. There's a little point down here. And then this one has a nice long point. And this one's pretty long too. I'll make that a little bit longer. There we go. Okay, so there's a rough sketch of my maple leaf, and that's all I need. I could just add a couple little indications of these side veins coming off of the central one, like so. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is mix up a very pale wash, and I'm just going to mix a little bit of the red and yellow together. And this time, for this first wash, I'm going to keep it a little more to the yellow side, so more yellow than red. And I'm just going to flood that whole area just like that. Okay, and I have a paper towel in my hand that I'm using to just remove some of the excess water from my brush. And while it's still wet, I'm going to add a little bit more red to the mixture. And just drop that in here and there. And because I'm working wet into wet right now, I'm getting a nice soft edge, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Okay, so, let's get the stem before I go any further. So get a little tonality on the stem. So that is what I would call the first wash. Okay, just a very simple little pencil drawing. This just took a couple of seconds to do this. Now, I can also use the brush, so I've got my specimen in my hand here, and what I can do, let me make this so you can see a little bit. I'm just going to, using the tip of my brush, I'm just going to work on my drawing a little bit more. So I can identify the placement of some of these pointy tips and get them going in the direction that I want. And so your drawing does not have to be perfect from the beginning. In fact, it's better if it's not, because what you want is the option to be able to change things as you go, because as the painting progresses, you may decide that you want to do something a little bit differently. So it's a constant refinement of your drawing. So don't worry, don't say, oh, you know, I can't draw well, or you're so talented, I'm not. That's not the case. It's just practicing and taking your time and just making decisions and changing it as you go until you get it just the way you like it. And if you work slowly and start lightly and don't commit too soon, you will have plenty of room to make corrections and changes as you go along. So always remember that. And really, it's not about talent or special skills. It's all about how much time you put into it, and just practicing, as they say. That's the whole secret. Okay, well, I'm pretty happy with that at the moment. So the next thing I want to do is to begin increasing my values. So I'm going to add a little stronger mixture of paint. And there are some places that have a darker red in them. So I'm just going to start to build that up, keeping the edges soft so I have a nice blend. There we go. Now there's also some places that have a little deeper yellow, so I want to get some of that. I don't want the color to mix all the same. I want to have variation in the color, so I'm just going to start increasing some of the more yellow areas. There we go. So you don't need much to get started. Just some good quality paper and three colors. What I really recommend is getting as nice a brush as you can. There is a big difference between the synthetic brushes and the natural hair brushes. So you want to invest in the best quality that you can. And if you want to start with just an inexpensive brush, that's fine. But you may have a little bit, you may have to work a little bit harder to get the results that you want. Whereas if you begin with a good quality brush and make that investment, you'll be learning to use that brush as you go, and in the long run you'll save a lot of time. Okay, so I think you can see the colors starting to develop. I'm now mixing a stronger mixture. And I'm now looking to indicate some of the veins in the leaf. And as you look closely, there's a lot of little wrinkles and bumps and folds, so you want to indicate some of that texture of the leaf. And then there are some areas where the leaf is starting to turn brown, so there's some nice dark areas that I can use as accents. So now I'm adding a little bit of blue to my red, and I'm getting a nice strong kind of a deep violet mixture. And I can begin to pick up some of those things. And I'm just using this dark color sparingly. I'm still trying to keep my middle and my light tones. And I'm continuing to draw with my brush. And when you use a nice quality paper, as this is, the paper becomes a very important part of your watercolor painting, because really it's the only medium that your materials play a part in the creation of the painting that you're doing. So that's one of the reasons why it's so very important to use good quality paper, because the cheaper student grade papers will not allow you to do a lot of the techniques that you see me demonstrating here. And as I'm painting, and as time goes by, the amount of saturation of the water and paint on the paper is changing, and therefore it's affecting the quality of my brush strokes as well. So I am altering the way I'm working to correlate to the amount of water and moisture that's in the paper. And the only way you can learn to do that is simply by practicing. And as your picture develops, you'll begin to see that in your work too. Starting in January, I'm going to begin my beginning watercolor course. I do this 4 times a year. The next one begins in January, and it's a 6-week course. It's very comprehensive. It's designed for beginners and also for people who have been painting for a little while. And I review all of the important concepts required to create a piece of art. So everything from form, values, color mixing, perspective, composition, everything is covered. And you have the chance to share your work with me in a Zoom, so that I can help you and answer your questions and give you a critique to help you improve. So it's a very comprehensive course, and it's open to everybody and anyone. It's all online. It's all virtual. So that might be something that you want to put on your calendar and look forward to. And also, that's another thing that you will find in notes. When you subscribe to notes, I will be giving you notice of when that course is begin to start. All right, so I think we are about done here. Okay, so this is just a start. I may put a couple of additional touches onto it after I finish filming, but I just wanted to give you a sense of just how easily you can begin to make some of these beautiful leaves, and then you can use them to decorate your boxes, your place cards, your note cards, tags, gifts, or just you know, your sketchbook, and have a wonderful time going out and enjoying this beautiful weather and these gorgeous fall colors. Give that a little soften. Okay. Get that on the screen. There you go. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were inspired to do a little painting. And if you have any questions, please post them below. I will be back on Saturday. I'm going to be making a Halloween treat box, and it's going to be really cute. So I hope you'll join me for that. And I think that about covers it for today. So stay well, stay happy, and stay creative, and I will see you next time.